Antigua and Barbuda. Two sister islands in the heart of the eastern Caribbean, where turquoise waters surround volcanic ridges, coral reefs, and historic harbors. Antigua alone claims to have 365 beaches, one for every day of the year. But behind the postcard-perfect scenes lies a complex mosaic of history, ecology, and cultural survival. Once a key British naval base, English Harbor still echoes with colonial architecture and stone fortifications like Shirley Heights, where cannons once scanned the horizon. Today, it offers one of the most breathtaking panoramic views in the Caribbean: sunsets framed by anchored sailboats and coral-sparkled sea. These islands are also home to extraordinary wildlife, from the Antiguan racer snake, once the rarest snake on Earth, now recovering thanks to conservation, to the vibrant frigatebirds of Codrington Lagoon on Barbuda, whose red throat pouches inflate like crimson balloons during mating season. The ocean, of course, rules all. Coral reefs fringe both islands, teeming with parrotfish, sea turtles, and reef sharks. And just offshore lies Stingray City, where southern stingrays glide like shadows through crystal waters, brushing past snorkelers with ghost-like grace. Barbuda, the quieter, wilder sister of Antigua, holds a different rhythm. With fewer than 2,000 inhabitants and long stretches of untouched coast, it feels like a world apart. No traffic lights, no mountains, just low-lying terrain, pink sand beaches, and thick coastal bush. But it's here, in the Codrington Lagoon National Park, that the largest frigatebird colony in the Western Hemisphere thrives. Over 5,000 birds nest among tangled mangroves, their mating calls rising like static electricity above the wetlands. The males puff their scarlet gular sacs into brilliant spheres, attracting mates while the wind ruffles their black feathers. Barbuda also shelters elusive land crabs, iguanas, and sea turtles who nest on its secluded beaches, many of which remain unnamed. On the northern coast, Darby Sinkhole drops 100 meters into a hidden tropical forest, complete with ferns, palms, and nesting birds rarely seen elsewhere on the island. This natural isolation has preserved not only wildlife, but fragments of ancient human history. The caves of 2-Foot Bay, etched into Barbuda's limestone cliffs, contain petroglyphs left by the Arawak people, marks of an existence older than empire or colony. Antigua's past is carved into its coastline. Along the southern shores, you'll find the preserved strongholds of Nelson's Dockyard, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the world's only continuously working Georgian naval yard. Restored stone warehouses now house museums, while former officer quarters echo with tales of empire, trade, and rebellion. From Fort James to Fort Barrington, the island's high points became lookouts against rival European powers. Today, their cannons are silent, and the only intruders are climbing vines and nesting birds. But colonialism left more than ruins. It shaped the culture, language, and rhythms of daily life. Calypso music, British cricket traditions, and local storytelling blend African, European, and indigenous roots. The Antiguan black pineapple, known for its sweet flavor, is still grown near Cades Bay, where plantation histories linger in old field boundaries and sugar mill remains. Even in the dry inland hills, life thrives. Look closely, and you'll find the barred anole, a native lizard with vibrant stripes, darting through cactus scrub and dry brush. And overhead, the call of the Antillean crested hummingbird hums through flowering trees. This is an island shaped by waves, of water, of wind, and of people. Beneath the surface, Antigua and Barbuda transform into a labyrinth of coral canyons, seagrass beds, and undersea cliffs. These waters are home to over 200 species of fish, including angelfish, trumpetfish, and moray eels, each playing their part in the fragile reef ecosystem. Despite their lush appearance, Antigua and Barbuda face a challenge shared by many Caribbean islands: water scarcity. With no major rivers and limited freshwater sources, agriculture depends heavily on rainfall and catchment systems. Yet, even in dry spells, life pushes through. The island's red volcanic soils host cassava, corn, okra, and black pineapple, the latter grown on gentle slopes near the central plains. Coconut palms and breadfruit trees line roadsides, while aloe vera and lemongrass thrive in backyard gardens, doubling as both food and medicine. More than 1,000 plant species have been identified across the islands, including endemic orchids tucked into moist valleys and prickly pear cacti dotting dry hillsides. Barbuda's wild bushlands harbor medicinal plants passed down through oral tradition, knowledge still alive in elder communities. Insects buzz in these green spaces. Butterflies like the Antillean checkered skipper, bees pollinating flowering shrubs, and stick insects camouflaged in dry leaf clusters. Farmers must balance planting cycles with shifting weather, making each harvest a lesson in patience and resilience. And so, even without rivers, the land hums, quiet, persistent, alive. Antigua and Barbuda pulse with rhythm. Music isn't just entertainment here, it's memory, identity, and resistance. The beat of calypso traces back to West African storytelling and colonial struggle. It evolved alongside soca, a faster genre born for dancing in the streets. During Carnival, the islands erupt in color. Costumes shimmer, brass bands parade through St. John's, and steel pan music spills into every alley. The sounds reflect the land, quick, layered, and alive. But beneath the festival glitter lies deep cultural meaning. Songs often carry coded messages of political critique, social tension, or pride in ancestry. Artists like Swallow and Burning Flames have helped carry Antiguan voices to the wider Caribbean and beyond. Food tells stories too. Traditional dishes like fungi, a cornmeal and okra mash, served with pepper pot stew or grilled snapper, reveal a blend of African, Amerindian, and colonial influences. Spices are subtle, fish is fresh, and everything is shared. In local markets, you'll see green bananas, sweet tamarind, and hot Scotch bonnet peppers. And you might hear a conch shell blow from the harbor, a call still used by fishermen, echoing older ways of life. Culture here isn't just preserved, it's lived, daily in sound, spice, and story. For birdwatchers, Antigua and Barbuda are a hidden paradise. Over 170 bird species have been recorded, some passing through on migration, others nesting year-round in forests, wetlands, and cliffs. One of the most iconic sights is the magnificent frigatebird, Barbuda's sky-dwelling symbol. But there's more: the Caribbean Elenia, with its flickering call, the vibrant banana queet sipping nectar from hibiscus blooms, and the red-billed tropic bird, whose long-tailed streamers trace elegant arcs over the sea. Protected areas like the McKinnon's Pond Wetland, North Sound Marine Park, and Greencastle Hill National Park preserve habitats for dozens of species. Early mornings reveal herons stalking the shallows and pelicans plunge diving near the reefs. The Antigua Conservation Society monitors nesting sites and works with volunteers to track endangered birds. Locals often join in, blending ecological science with generational knowledge, watching where birds land, when they nest, and what plants they return to. Birds like songs are part of the rhythm here. Their wings cross the borders of island and ocean, past and present. Not all wonders lie on the coastline. Inland, the land rises and folds into hills, caves, and windswept plateaus. One of the most striking places is Greencastle Hill, where mysterious megalithic boulders, some standing upright, others arranged in circles, dot the volcanic landscape. Locals once believed these stones were placed by the island's earliest inhabitants, possibly for spiritual or astronomical reasons. On solstice mornings, shafts of sunlight fall between certain formations, adding weight to the stories. Nearby, in the island's heartland, Boggy Peak, formerly Mount Obama, stands as Antigua's highest point. From its summit, the forest rolls down in waves of green, home to tree frogs, mongooses, and camouflaged lizards. Old footpaths wind between mahogany trees and ferns, used by farmers, hikers, and herbalists alike. Caves also riddle the islands, some sea-carved, some hidden inland. Bat Cave, near St. John's, hums with life at dusk, when clouds of fruit bats spiral into the sky, searching for figs and nectar by echolocation. In these quiet places, stone and silence carry memory of people, of place, and of something older still. As sea levels rise and storms grow stronger, Antigua and Barbuda face an uncertain climate future. In 2017, Hurricane Irma devastated Barbuda, flattening homes, scattering communities, and forcing a full evacuation for the first time in 300 years. But from adversity grew intention. Rebuilding efforts on Barbuda now emphasize resilience and sustainability, with hurricane-resistant structures, solar energy, and reforestation programs led by local youth. Antigua, too, is expanding marine conservation zones and hosting international conferences on climate adaptation. In classrooms, children learn not only about global warming, but about the plants in their grandmother's garden, the birds in their backyard, and the wind shifts on their beaches. It's a fusion of modern science and ancestral knowledge, wisdom born of living closely with the land. There's also a growing return to crafts, boat building, bush medicine, sea salt harvesting, old skills becoming new again as the islands search for identity beyond tourism. The future here won't be easy, but it may be deeply rooted, wind-tested, and community-shaped, like the baobab tree that still grows behind village churches, silent, enduring. There's a rhythm to island life that moves slower than time. It hums in the pauses between waves, in the breeze that sways sugarcane, in the heat rising off coral stone at midday. On Antigua's half-moon bay, the curve of the coast catches both sunrise and storm, its wild beauty untouched by resort walls. In Barbuda's frigatebird sanctuary, silence deepens when the birds rest their wings and the mangroves sway in salt air. These are places not meant to be rushed. Fishermen still mend nets by hand in Parum, the island's oldest town. Elders sit on porches telling stories of sea monsters and starlit crossings. Children run barefoot through dusty paths, chasing kites and lizards, unaware of how much they carry forward. You don't just visit Antigua and Barbuda, you slow down, you listen. And if you're quiet enough, the land speaks back. Thank you for joining us on this gentle journey through Antigua and Barbuda, where nature, history, and quiet beauty come together in every wave and whisper. If this story brought you calm or curiosity, we invite you to like, comment, and subscribe. There are many more places to explore and countless voices to hear, one country at a time. Until the next journey, stay curious, stay kind,